Hello there, this channel is a box of chocolates. I'm Brittany Edwards, and if no one has told you, let me be the first to say these fellowships, scholarships, grants, pensions, whatever it is, they don't define you. So don't let them take away your self-worth. What is for you will be for you when it's meant to be for you. And that's so important to remember and keep in mind, because it just changes the way that you live your life. Because sometimes these resistance, sometimes these, barriers or things that we encounter aren't actually because we're not working hard enough or we're not good enough. It's because something is just not for us. And if it is for us, maybe it's just not for us at this time. And if it isn't for us, then that's okay too, because what matters most is that you are in alignment with your path. Here's a little bit of my story. I applied to Fulbright in 2000 something, and the first time I applied, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't even get past the preliminary January exhibition or whatever it was. I was just canceled immediately. And when I didn't receive that, I just started thinking, like, maybe I'm just average. Not like there's anything wrong with being average, but maybe I just wasn't as good or great or amazing as people always say I am. And my accomplishments weren't actually very impressive, which I mean, I didn't think they were. I didn't really have much to put on my application, because even though the people that know me think that I'm like somewhere out there, I felt like that couldn't really show through in my application because I didn't have anything to put down on it. I had to work so much during college to pay my tuition. At one point I had 31 credit hours and working 5 jobs and also involved with like 7 clubs. So there was really no extra time for me to find the cure for cancer. And I just felt like I was competing against all of these people that had all these incredible things on their resume because they had the time and space and privilege to do those things, to get that experience, to get that resume fluffer. And I had no fluff on my resume, or at least that's what it felt like to me. And so when I didn't get Fulbright the first time that I applied for it, it just really, I started thinking about myself less. I started thinking that, maybe I really am not a high achieving person, or maybe I'm not very good, or maybe I'm not good enough, right? That's what I just started thinking. And that's just so problematic, because why did I allow these scholarships to define my worth when they don't? Okay, so what happened was the next year I applied again, and this time I applied to Taiwan. The first time I applied to South Africa. This time I applied to Taiwan, and I made it past January. So I was like, okay, we're looking good. Things are sounding great. And then March came around and they said alternate. So I got a maybe. I guess a maybe is still better than no, but it's still, I think, maybe kind of stung a little bit. So during 2 weeks, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my life, having a small breakdown, but I miraculously got an email saying, hello, you've been granted a Fulbright. Wow. Flash forward to after my Fulbright ends, I fall completely and utterly in love with Taiwan. Like, I wish that I could articulate how much I love that place. Pause. This thing is so delicious. Okay, carry on. Anyways, here's the major key about this whole situation. Going to Fulbright in Taiwan specifically changed the trajectory of my life. That sounds really... It was just meant to be, I guess, because when you look at everything that's happened afterwards, none of that would have happened if I had gotten Fulbright to South Africa. So because I lived in Taiwan for a year and I did my Fulbright there, I ended up writing for an online publication for Black people who live in Asia. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't live in Taiwan for my Fulbright. And then after that, I connected with a publisher to write a whole book on Taiwan, #3 bestseller on Amazon. And none of that would have happened if I got my Fulbright the first time, because you can't do Fulbright twice like that. You know, maybe there could have been something else that led me to live in Taiwan, but I don't know what it could or couldn't have been. Something about us human beings, we're just wired to create an ideology or to create a system of belief or a desire and just kind of lock our focus onto this one thing. And if this one thing doesn't come true, it just completely upheaves our entire existence and our entire way of living. And I think that's what happens a lot of times with these scholarships, right? We have our mind or heart set on the specific scholarship that we think we want or that we think might be good for us, but we don't know what's really all out there. And it can be limiting, because what happens is that you will cast your eyes on this one thing, not thinking about any other scholarships or applications or life path, careers, or anything that you could take. And maybe this one thing that you think you want isn't actually what you want, but something you've been taught to want. This is going all way too deep. But the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of the times we want something, or we cast our eyes, or we cast our focus on one thing when we don't know everything else that's out there that exists. So the best way I can make this very theoretical philosophy tangible is, for example, when we're younger, you know, they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of the times we say, you know, being a doctor or a teacher, because those are the only professions we know. We don't know that there's someone out here getting paid big money to name Pixar movies, Toy Story, and Cars. You know, so it's like we're focusing on this one path, this one direction. LOL. We're focusing on this one thing, and that could be so limiting for us, because there's just so much else out there in the world that just might be perfect for you that you just don't know about yet. So if you have a frown, turn it upside down, and I'll see you around. I'm like low-key a rapper. Okay, if you've liked what you've seen today, I have, you know, a whole other series on Fulbright videos and self-growth improvement things. And so all of that to say, instead of thinking about not getting the scholarship, grant, fellowship, whatever it is that you applied to as something that's foiling your plans, try thinking about it in the sense of this is just creating space for something better to come true. Something that's in alignment with your path and purpose and filled with the greatest good for you. That's something I wish someone had told me, and I hope that's something that you keep in mind on your life's journey. So good luck to you in whatever it is that you do, and hopefully you will click subscribe to join the tribe, and I'll see you next time.